Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into the absolute bedrock of Microsoft Project, planning fundamentals and project data preparation. We're going to completely demystify the preparation phase and we'll tame the sheer complexity of modern project management. If you've been looking to turn total chaos into a highly visible, structured plan before you even touch your scheduling software, you are exactly in the right place.
To set the stage, think about how things used to be. There's a saying, 10 to 20 years ago, residential projects used to be a simple single tower. Today, they are big townships. This staggering, exponential complexity, that is our main villain today. We just aren't building simple single structures anymore. We're talking about massive townships spanning multiple geographical locations, loaded with premium luxury flats, row houses, sprawling internal roads, recreation facilities, and complex security networks. It's a totally different ballgame. And this shift, it literally changes everything about how we work. Back in the day, if you had a small project with, say, 5 to 50 activities, you could practically calculate the whole thing manually on a notepad. It was easy. But contrast that with modern projects today, with overlapping timelines across all those multiple locations and thousands of moving parts, manual tracking is just impossible. Proper software data preparation isn't just a nice-to-have option anymore. It is your ultimate hero weapon. To conquer this complexity, we'll be tackling 5 foundational pillars today: managing modern project complexity, setting the project calendar, figuring out work breakdown versus tasks, defining your project resources, and finally, calculating man days and costs. Let's jump right into number 1, managing modern project complexity. Dodging chaos doesn't start by just throwing raw data into your software and hoping for the best. It actually starts with a highly structured plan. And to build that plan, you need a reliable chronological workflow. Think of this hypothetical timeline as your mental anchor. Day 1, you establish your calendar. Day 2, you build the work breakdown structure, or WBS. Day 3, you get really granular and define specific tasks. And day 4, you allocate your resources. See how that works? We're building order step by step, moving from the broad strokes down to the precise details. Which brings us to Section 2, setting the project calendar. This right here is the absolute base layer of your entire blueprint. You are quite literally defining how time functions for your project site. Before you even think about entering a single activity into the system, you've got to lock down these core calendar details. How many working days are in your week? What exact hours make up a man day? Is it an 8-hour shift? What time does the site open and close? Are there specific holidays or daily lunch breaks? If you don't define these correctly right out of the gate, every single deadline your software predicts is going to be fundamentally flawed. All right, once time is defined, we move on to Section 3, work breakdown versus tasks. This is all about structuring the project so that everyone, from the executives up in the boardroom down to the crew in the dirt, knows exactly what they're looking at. So the work breakdown structure, or WBS, is this really fascinating methodology. It takes a massive project and divides it into digestible sub-packages. Think of packages like site clearance or excavation. Now, to be clear, these are not the granular, individual activities being executed on the site. They are high-level, roll-up summary packages designed explicitly so middle and top management can easily review overall progress. And honestly, this is where a lot of planners get tripped up. The difference between a WBS and a task is huge. The WBS is purely for management review. It's the bird's eye view. Tasks, on the other hand, are where the actual dirt gets moved. Tasks are for on-site execution. They have measurable quantities, they take specific effort, and they require resources. So, while site clearance is the WBS package management sees, clearing and grubbing or cutting of trees are the actual granular tasks the site crew is sweating over. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, defining your project resources. To plan accurately, you have to ask yourself a super crucial question before you start entering data. Who are you in this project? Seriously, your specific role entirely dictates how you define your resources. If you're the client or main contractor, your resources might simply be your subcontractors, subcontractor A, B, and C, and you're just tracking the cubic meters of work they complete. Easy enough. But if you're the executing contractor directly managing the site, your resources are going to be highly detailed. You're tracking individual laborers, helpers, masons, supervisors, site engineers, and bulk materials like cement and sand. But regardless of your role, you must prepare some mandatory data points for every single resource before configuring your software. You absolutely need to know the type of resource. Is it a work resource, material, or equipment? What is its unit of measurement? And perhaps most importantly, what is the strict limit of its daily supply? You have to constrain the software to match real-world availability. Look at it this way. You might really want 50 laborers for a job, but if the local market or your budget dictates a strict limit of 25 maximum per day, you must input 25. If you only have 5 masons and 3 pieces of JCB equipment available daily, the software needs to know. Otherwise, you're just building a fantasy schedule that is completely impossible to execute on the ground. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, calculating man days and costs. Let's take all this data preparation we've been talking about and apply it to a practical, real-world math puzzle based on a site clearance task. Imagine you have a specific task on site called clearing and grubbing, and let's say this activity is scheduled to take exactly 5 days. Based on what we've learned, how do we determine the total work required to actually get it done? Let's break down the logic. Now, your software will do this automatically, but you really need to understand the underlying logic. Step 1, we identify the task duration, which is 5 days. Step 2, we look at our daily resources. Our prepared data tells us we need 3 laborers per day for this specific task. Step 3, we simply multiply that duration by our daily need. Boom, which gives us our answer, 15 man days. 3 laborers working for 5 days equals 15 man days of total work effort for the clearing and grubbing activity. It's incredibly satisfying when the data aligns perfectly like that, giving you an exact metric of the required effort. Let's take that calculation one step further into costs, just to show you how powerful this is. Let's say our standard labor rate is 15 rupees per hour. And remember our calendar setup from earlier? We define standard hours in a man day as 8 hours. So 15 rupees an hour multiplied by an 8-hour day means each laborer costs 120 rupees per day. To find our grand total, we take our 15 total man days and multiply it by that 120 rupee daily rate. That gives us exactly 1,800 rupees total cost for the labor on this specific activity. This proves exactly how rigorous data preparation completely automates your budget calculations. Once your foundational data is clean and accurate, the software does all this heavy lifting for you, instantly. And really, this is the ultimate why behind everything we've covered today. Doing this detailed math and resource loading upfront allows you to distribute your laborers and equipment across multiple overlapping activities, stuff like excavation, dismantling, and construction, without ever accidentally double booking them. You gain total visibility into your weekly and monthly requirements, completely preventing scheduling conflicts before a single shovel even hits the dirt. So we've covered the fundamentals. We've defined the calendar, structured the tasks, defined the resources, and run the real-world calculations. I leave you with this. With your blueprint absolutely finalized and your data meticulously prepared, are you ready to finally open Microsoft Project and start building your masterpiece? Keep these core principles in mind and you will absolutely master any project, no matter the complexity. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.
If you want to master Microsoft Project with practical construction examples, join the online professional certificate course of Onyx. Learn from industry experts and build job-ready planning skills. Limited seats available. Join now.